After Tectone made a tweet announcing he's considering leaving Twitch due to his belief that they are promoting terrorism, a wild feud was sparked between him and Hasan. Upon seeing this, Hasan, while live, started getting a whole bunch of information sent to him by his chat about Tectone's father, showing that he had a violent past, even allegedly essaying multiple women while he was in the military. This sparked Hasan to trash talk Tectone on Twitter over this, and led to an entire back and forth, to which Tectone responded to all of it on stream, going over the emotional trauma that this whole thing and his dad has caused him. Welcome to the internet versus Tectone and Hasan. It starts when Tectone tweets out, "I am genuinely considering a full swapping to YouTube if this terrorist propaganda isn't punished harshly and immediately on Twitch. My father, my brothers, and our soldiers did not bleed, sacrifice, and die for this bullshit to be allowed and promoted on Twitch. This needs to change immediately." Last King of Zimbla replies, "Terrorist propaganda equals criticizing an ongoing genocide." And Hikari says, "The fact that you use the genocide as a deflection every time you're called out on your bullshit is disgusting." Gosu Prime replies to Tectone by saying, "So by Twitch's logic, call someone fat, ban. Celebrate a terrorist group in civilian airport being bombed, fine. Absolute nonsense." Paula Fapalot replies to Tectone by saying, "Your father went to Vietnam and your brothers went to Afghanistan and Iraq to terrorize innocent people at the behest of our government's self-interest. None of it was to preserve an ounce of freedom. If these criticisms make your pussy hurt, there's a reason you didn't serve." Mr. Perry replies to Tectone by saying, "Oh, go fuck yourself. I can't believe we get moral indignation from this RS piece of shit." Problematic replies to Tectone by saying, "Sorry to tell you, but their Twitch superstar is Frogan and she is the ambassador of terrorism. Hate against American soldiers, hate United States, and strategic planner of riots and jihadist efforts to create another war. She gets rewarded with US dollars and Twitch pays that." And Strawberry says, 100% yes. It's crazy that people can say soldiers deserve PTSD and be praised, and people can platform literal terrorists and not face any serious repercussions. Disgusting. Hasan himself then screenshots this tweet that Tectone made and captions it by saying, "Oh no, what will anyone do if the bald pervert leaves the Twitch platform for good?" Q0 replies, "Hasan attends Diddy party." Also Hasan calls everyone perverts or P. Jack Hoffman replies to Hasan by saying, "Bro, why did you call a wellness check on your ex who lived 12 minutes away from you?" Action Man replies to Hasan by saying, "I mean, you didn't deny anything he said." Tectone himself then quote tweets Hasan and says, "Why did you assume this was about you, buddy? Is this because you know you're pushing terrorist propaganda which is directly against TOS? Kinda weird, big guy." B replies, "He calls you a pervert while cross-dressing as a maid, Lamau, multiple times." And Froggy Tonic replies to him by saying, "Let's ask a panel of women who feels most comfortable with between the two." Truth versus Left replies to Tectone by saying, "Unreal the length Hasan will go to defend outright terrorism." Sip Sip Stefan replies with this screenshot in the caption, "Didn't you link a video right under it about him? The tweet is obviously about him," showing a follow-up tweet that Tectone made saying, "Great video covering all the bullshit. It's worse than you think. Subscribe if you got a sec. Appreciate y'all." Linking a video titled, "The Hasan situation is actually way worse." Then Hasan catches wind of this and he tweets out this clip with the caption, "Hasan is zeroing in on Tectone right now, specifically Tectone's dad for alleged previous harassment in the army. Bald RS himself, it's a familial obligation over here," and attaches this clip.
The biggest photo you see is of Colonel Michael Robertson. He was convicted of 14 accounts of sexual assault. He only served 90 days in jail and paid a $30,000 fine.
Bro, that is the craziest. I mean, it's not even a milkshake duck style situation because it's like this needs to be a beloved figure and not a bald himself, right? But what was hilarious about this situation is like, I didn't know anything about his dad, you know? Literally, where is this reference? You posted, come in with the receipts posted, bro. So where did this reference happen? Do you think this person will change their perspective about this guy? Hokai Impact third, gotta be the best game. Australia motherfucker. Yeah, like what? Why would you invite people looking for this information? It's so crazy. Okay, I investigated by myself, and there's a person with the same name, rank, and similar age than Tectone's dad, and he was indeed found guilty of 14 counts of sexual harassment. It definitely wasn't his dad. His dad served in the late 80s, the early 90s. Anything after that, he probably wasn't active and was a reserve. Plus, I know people like Casey, blah, blah, blah. He literally references his dad as Iron Mike, which was also the nickname explicitly referenced in the trial of Michael Robertson. It's pretty obviously his father-in-law. It's not a surprise considering the history of sexual abuse that runs in the family. Like, this man has, I guess, epigenetic memories. He had to do it, you know? He just couldn't. He couldn't stop himself because It's just like, it's a familial obligation over here.
Eratora replies, only losers bring up someone's family as a way to score points when they've lost. Action Man says, how is he not banned? I did way less than this on Fortnite and was banned over and over. Twitch, you guys just gonna let this prick do anything he wants or what? And Tectone himself replies to the clip by saying, bro's going after my 75-year-old cancer-ridden dad because of an alleged SH claim from 17 years ago when I was 15 years old to try to paint me as an artist. This guy is fucking psychotic. He must be upset because his best friend's on trial right now. KFC manager replies, don't want to be that guy, but if he made jail time, doesn't it mean he wasn't just some alleged SH claim? No? Brett replies, actually, your abuse accusations are well documented and separate from your father's also incredibly well documented S abuse. But glad you brought him into this and confirmed this was him. Leon Patrick Morgan replies, well documented. Did you consider providing literally any evidence here? Some other people also went after Tectone for other things, like when Auntie tweets out, Hasan fans think Tectone is a lolicon, attaching a screenshot of ATK replying, keep coping lolly guy. Nona Furberger saying, bald, a hoarder, lolly lover. Bears quote tweeting Tectone saying, because you literally posted a link below that tweet, you dumbass lolly enjoyer, and cumrag of Asman. And Wish saying, is this ugly lolly enjoyer pretending to be stupid or is he actually this fucking stupid? You linked a video of him below that tweet, you dumb fuck. Brandon Riley replies, this is like the long-awaited punchline to a joke. And Auntie says, I don't know why they think he's a lolicon, but that's pretty funny. Tectone replies to this by saying, they don't know the lore. But I'm not surprised Hasan once again hasn't researched anything before speaking. Then Dexter Tonox tweets out, Twitch streamer Tectone's father has been revealed to be Colonel Michael Robertson of Fort Bliss, Texas. Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges including sexually harassing 3 women and assaulting 5 women. He was sentenced to 3 months in prison. Attaching this image of them together along with this image that has a highlighted section that says, last week Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges including having corn on his government computer, sexually harassing 5 women, and assaulting 5 women. Pamphlet's blog replies, US soldier R's 5 women and gets 90 days in jail. Shithole empire. Caseytron replies, you can tell he really looks up to his father as well. Sad. Sid Loho replies, the son shall not bear the guilt of the father. I usually agree with this, but not here. Tectone is a proven sex pest. Clearly runs in the blood. Can't beat the genes. Denim's quote tweets Dexerto Knox by saying, judge me by my enemies. Parading your dad around like he's an honorable man, but when he's exposed as an artist, Tectone responds by 1. Saying he has cancer, irrelevant to being an artist. 2. Was only R-ing 17 years ago when he was a young man, over 50 years old. And 3. It's all alleged, serve prison time. And also as this continues to break out, other things are happening with Hasan and Tectone, like Yeats tweeting out, Hasan, somebody who prides himself on calling out appearance-based attacks, drops some fat jokes about Nicholas DeOrio and attaches this clip.
This is the Nicholas Eat Oreos guy. Nick DeOrio got so fat he split off a second somehow still fat clone of himself. That's ruthless.
And Tectone replies, okay bro, now come on. Anna replies, is he getting attacked because he's Italian, or are fat jokes only considered racist when they're against Frogan? Views from Hasis says, wait, so by that insult Twitch should ban him, right? Or are they so biased they'll keep him on? DeOrio quote tweets this clip by saying, someone check on Frogan and make sure she's okay. And Atuka replies with this picture of her in the caption, she barely got any eyebrows. And Nick says, update, she is not okay. Diane replies, Nick, you're like Ethan's Frogan. And Nick says, I can't be Frogan. I have people who watch me. Dan Saltman quote tweets this clip by saying, you guys remember when Tectone got a ban for this exact thing like a week ago? At Twitch, Twitch support and DJ Clancy are ideologically captured and have the most obvious double standards of all time. Twitch is terrorist propaganda at this point. Fire the entire exec team. Nick then continues to respond to this when he tweets out, I don't need/want people to report Hasan Piker on my behalf. I'm not trying to become some martyr over a fat joke. I say plenty of vitriolic shit on my own streams all the time. It would be absolutely absurd for Twitch to give him a 24-hour ban for a fucking fat joke and not for any of the terrorist shit. But don't act like you're reporting him for me. Also, I get the hypocrisy angle. I am obviously aware of the special treatments Twitch's chosen streamers get. I'm sure Tectone in particular is losing his mind seeing Hasan make a comment like that right after his ban. Your anger is justified. I'm just not participating in this because it's literally about me and it's weird. Then as I rewind to the post that we read earlier, the one of Tectone saying bro is going after my 75-year-old cancer-ridden dad, Hasan then quote tweets this with this clip in the caption, they got your dad's S-crimes in the congressional record, man, why are you still chirping?
Today, I would like to tell the story of one of the 8% that were prosecuted. The story of Colonel Michael Robertson, who commanded Fort Bliss's 31st Combat Support Hospital at Camp Dwyer, a military base and airfield in the Helmand River Valley in Afghanistan. Last week, Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including having on his government computer, sexually harassing 3 women and assaulting 5 women. 8 women that served under his command testified at great cost to their careers and their privacy.
Alex replies, bringing somebody's family into your beef is low. Poppy Alexander says, he wanted to be just like daddy when he grew up. Savvy replies, I'm not iDubbbz. Is Tectone his father? Or have you lost the plot so much you're just throwing random punches, noodle boy? Exism says, so let me get this straight. His dad commits a crime, so now that's Tectone's fault when he was a child? How the fuck does that make sense? TTBN quote tweets Hasan by saying, dude, this the most 4K this you? Got archival footage from a congressional hearing. And Tectone quote tweets him by saying, we going after dads now? Take him to your next Diddy party and brothel visit. Not gonna lie, man, Ethan has obliterated your mental. Get help. Here's your dad, brother, and attaches a tweet that says, leftist Hasan Piker is the son of Turkish billionaire Mehmet, who co-founded the Future Party, right-wing neo-Ottoman, with former Prime Minister of Turkey Ahmet, who personally negotiated the release of Sinwar, leader of Hamas, who orchestrated the October 7th attack. Donegan replies, son of a billionaire LARPing as a socialist? This has to be the first time this has ever happened. I'm shook. Pepe Ladidi posts in the r/livestream fail subreddit, Tectone addressing his father's dark past.
I don't really know how to feel about it. I obviously feel awful. And so I suppose, due to this all being resurfaced by Hasan, I suppose I will no longer be interacting with my father in any way, shape, or form on my stream or my content. The past 24 hours have been very shocking.
Shooter McNuggets replies, ain't no way bro didn't know his dad's history. And Letokra says, dude threw his own father under the bus all for the sake of winning a moral purity competition on Twitter. I don't even know what to say. MP Lol says, because of Hasan when he used his father to dunk on Hasan with his fake patriotism and lore masters came with receipts. Dumbest person on Twitch. And Slow Missile says, literally 11 seconds in, a chatter on YouTube says, Hasan needs to pay for this. Like as if Hasan is the one who lied to his audience about having a serial artist of a father and platforming it. Alon Wola replies with this link in the caption, kinda weird he changed his stance since he already knew, and attaches a post from Jake Chinatown with the caption, Tectone brags about his family history of SA 2 months ago, challenges people to tell him more.
Your father went to jail for the same shit. Oh, really? Wait, tell me more, man. Tell me more. What else? Who'd my dad rape? Oh, by the way, Jonas said I deal with people like this on a daily basis, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yep. Who? 5 women in the military accuse your father of rape. Really? That's crazy. You think so? What else? You want to talk about my dead granddad too? That's the part where we usually go. We usually go from the dad and then we bring up the dead grandfather. Do we want to talk about my grandfather too or no? That's why he went to jail discussing vote. Really, man? That's interesting. How do you know so much? How are you so all-knowing, man? Tell me more things that I don't know.
And Gnome Civilian replies to this clip by saying, he said in his stream he knew something happened, but not the details, and his dad had downplayed it a ton to him. The chatter said his dad had R'd 5 women, which was not true, so nothing in that clip is true. And Hoochie FPS says, I don't know why you and this other guy are getting downvoted. People just love to hate Tectone and don't care about the truth, I guess. Then Consistent Ad posts on the R Asmongold subreddit, fuck Hasan, making Tectone relive childhood trauma and calling him an artist. Hasan is a disgusting human and deserves to be nowhere near Twitch. Ban Hasan. Perma. And Tono replies, Hasan is just one of the many mentally ill, terminally online people that are most of the time just yapping nonsense and talking shit because their actions don't really have consequences and getting encouraged by their echo chambers. And Muscarenenia says, he's used to preaching his gospel to age 17-year-old teenage girls contemplating gender studies who wet their panties in the sight of his manly armpits, and impressionable virgins who get seduced into believing that's how you get to nail girls. Anyone else will be reasonably left unimpressed. Combatant Rogue replies, Hasan is just trying to score some W's after he crashed out so bad in the stupid debate he had with Ethan. Falsely accusing Tectone as a artist because of genetics is actually disgusting. That's borderline eugenic beliefs. Falsely accusing Asmon the P-word. Twitch should give him consecutive suspensions for each time he breached TOS, but they won't since he's the face of Twitch. Yeet also tweets out some more of this stream with a caption, Tectone got really emotional today talking about his dad who was sent to prison 15 years ago for SA. Here he recounts a scary experience 2 days before his father's sentence, and attaches this clip.
And obviously he took some of the aggression out on me about 2 days before he got sent to jail, I got back from soccer practice, which I joined because I wanted to make my dad proud. And I put an empty orange soda can on top of my trash can. And my father threw me to the ground and put a gun against my head. And he said, "Give me a good reason not to shoot you." And my brother Mike intervened and he got me out of that situation. And once my father got sent to prison, I was just a little bit uncomfortable with my life. And so my brother encouraged me to get as far away from this family as humanly possible. Now, obviously, this isn't really anything that I just really want to talk about on stream. However, a really great Twitch streamer is just making me relive my childhood trauma because of all this, which is great.
Ede continues the thread by saying, Tectone reveals that he and his dad speak about once every 3 or 4 months and will occasionally get food. Also says he took his dad back into his life 3 years ago when it was revealed he had cancer and not much more time to live.
He told me that he has cancer and he doesn't think that he has much time left. And so, due to that, which was about 3 or so years ago, I take him back into my life. It was pretty bumpy. We maybe talked about once every 3 or 4 months or so. Every now and then we would go get some food. My father wasn't particularly fond of my ex-wife, so we would never really interact that much when she was around.
Augie RFC replies to Yeet by saying, Hasan is a genuine piece of shit. Even if Tectone's dad is terrible, what point does this prove at all? Why bring it up? It's a totally irrelevant attack and just straight evil. And Tectone himself then replies by saying, Glad Hasan is bringing up a 17-year-old childhood trauma to try to get a W after the humiliation Ethan Klein delivered to him on stream. Anyways, advertise on twitch.com. Banjo Baka replies, Bro, you are the one who brought your dad into this whole situation in the first place. Hasan said himself he didn't even know anything about your dad until chatters pointed it out to him. Holy shit. And Frost replies to Tectone, there's a 0 scenario he comes out looking like a good guy. Proud of you. Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko and Salsaud. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.